Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Raphael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Good morning, good morning. Excuse me. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to New Tip Daily, episode 152. Sometimes the best action you can take is this. Let it go. That's what I want to talk to you about today. We may have to let certain things go, and it will be okay. It will be all right in the end. It takes a lot of strength, and definitely a lot of character to let things go. I want to discover with you some tips on how we can get better at this. So let it go. What does that mean? You know, somebody's yelling at you, and immediately you get into the defensive part. No. Why don't you listen to what they may be yelling, but try listening to what they're actually saying. It may make sense. We don't know what it is because if we immediately respond with yelling back, we're not listening. So active listening is going to allow us to let it go and maybe to learn to understand. So letting it go, it really brings more clarity. So let go of your anger. Let it go. There's no reason for you to be angry. Things happen. They're going to happen, whether you like it or not. People are going to behave a certain way, whether you like it or not. Yes, you don't have to agree with their actions. You don't even have to stay there, but you should not internalize their problems. When you internalize their problems, man, you just took on a problem that's not even yours. So why are we doing these things? Why should we focus on someone else's problems? Do we not have enough problems of our own? So what I suggest is let it go. Let it go. So when we think about someone who may be angry at us, and they maybe that's their prerogative. Remember that. It is their choice on how they react, how they act, on how they even bring their anger. But what I ask you to do is to just let it go. Don't hold on to anything. And one of the things I tell a lot of my clients is don't take it personally, even if they use your name in the process. Now, if it is true, still don't take it personally. Let it go and find a way to remedy the situation. That by far is the best thing you can do. Just let it go. Find clarity. Because when we hold on to anger, somebody does something wrong and we hold on to it, that anger starts to build. We may become hurtful in the words we use. We may inflict pain on other people, physically even. Maybe you threw something and you didn't mean to hit them, but guess what? You hit them. Maybe you threw something and you didn't mean to hit anybody and it bounced back. And then maybe it hit you or hit them or hit something or broke something. There's no reason for us to really throw anything. We can scream out instead of throwing. We can scream as loud as we need to. And when somebody goes, "What is up with you?" So, I needed to let it out. I don't want to hold on to it. I need to let it go. And then they'll go, oh, I get it. You're angry. Yes, I'm angry. And I need to let it out. I need to not hold on to it. It should not consume me. My anger should not consume me. My fear should not consume me. Let it go. Let it go. A lot of people, they think of their anger or their fear, and sometimes they're intertwined. Sometimes it's the same thing. You're angry because you are afraid. You are afraid of something. And because you're not well versed in it, it makes you angry. You wish you would have known more. You wish you would have had an upper hand. It's not always that way. You need to be humble. You need to understand that anger will never, never. Good morning, Mandy. How are you? Thank you so much. And yes, we do let it go. Amen to that. I agree. So when we hold on to our anger, when we hold on to our fear, and there's nothing wrong with either one of those, by the way. I just want to say that. It's how we interpret it, how we use those things to benefit us. If we use it to hurt us, then we don't know how to use them. So yes, humility is a gift. Thank you for that, Mandy. And when we think about understanding, let's before we lash out at anybody, let's understand why would we even want to do that. If you believe in God, like I do, I believe that your actions reflect maybe what you're thinking, your thought process, or what you were not thinking. You just reacted, right? So that doesn't help you. So I try not to react, I try to act. So even though you may let's talk about martial arts. If you punch at me, I have two choices, two actions I can take. One, actually there's three. I can block, more. I'm thinking there's even more. I can move out of the way. I can get hit. Three actions I can take: block, move, or get hit. What I do is, how do I act to that, your action? How do I respond? So my response is so, so important. When you respond appropriately. Now, don't get me wrong, if somebody punches at you, you do have those three choices, but then you can act or respond as well. You can block and strike, you can move out of the way and strike, you can get hit and strike. So they all come back at how you react, or you can just block and try to understand, why did they hit you? And at that point, they may not want to hit you again. I'm going to tell you that I used that last one as a bouncer for 5 years, 5 years in Manhattan, in New York City, in Queens, in New York, in Brooklyn too. As a bouncer, I was the only bouncer that no one ever attacked in this way with police officers. What I mean is that the law never came looking for me because of the actions I took. So, 5 years as a bouncer, I didn't hit one person. But guess what? They were acting in anger, and it wasn't even towards me, but I was in their way. They swung at me. There was chains, there was knives, there was all kinds of things. I did not hit one person. What I did was maneuver grab them, whisper in their ear, do you want to go home? Or do you want to go to jail? It was that simple. I would say most of the people were in shock that they didn't get to hit me and that I was even by their ear. And they took a second, they thought about it, and they said home. Now some kept fighting, and that was the answer they wanted to give me. So they went to jail. I held on to them, or we pushed them out of the club, whatever we needed to do. So when we think about letting it go, I got to tell you, a lot of the bouncers that I worked with were not so fortunate. They took it personally. When somebody swung at them, they took it personally. They thought they were swinging at them. No. And what they did, maybe they blocked, maybe they got hit, but they pounded on the patrons, which was not cool. Guess what? The next day, who showed up? Police officers looking for them because they either put the person in the hospital, they hurt them, they hurt their eye, they busted their nose, they hurt them in a different way, and now they're in trouble because they didn't understand how to let it go. How to let it go. Why do you have to take everything personally? Even when somebody says something to me in anger, I don't take it personally. I allow myself the space to try to understand them. Understanding is the biggest gift you can give yourself. We don't know why people do so much in their lives that is wrong. And the reason they do it, sometimes it's we don't know how to explain it. Why do you think the jails are so full of people who are innocent? Or at least they think that in their minds. They think they're innocent. It was someone else who caused me, who made me. Mm-mm. Your actions are your own. But before that, you need to let it go. When we encounter someone who is angered at you, angered at the situation, or angered at something else, and you act back with anger, you're only adding fuel to that fire. You're only adding fuel. When we think about what we can do when we encounter someone who is angry, we can help them by calmly speaking to them, by calmly asking them, hey, you know what? Would you mind explaining that a little bit better? Can you make me understand where you're coming from? That's how we help someone. That's how we definitely let it go by not taking it personally. So my biggest advice for you today, it's not about you. You know, if somebody says something really nasty about you, it's not your business. It's not your if they badmouth you, if they talk behind your back, don't get me wrong, you may have to clarify it because it may be hurting you financially. But you also, if they're just saying, you know, whatever, and it's not hurting you financially and it's just making it so they look bad, let it go. It's not your business what they think of you. Now, if they're doing it in a malicious way that people are being hurt, including your family, then you have to somehow figure a positive way to come back at that. So, yes, you do let it go, but certain things you can't let go. Certain things you have to take action to. You need to be able to, and thank you, Mandy, for that. You do need to seek help from other people. Sometimes you may just have to ask someone, say, and say to them, hey, look, someone is talking bad about me and you know me. Would you mind saying something to them? Would you mind? Would that be okay with you? You may need to ask someone to help you on your behalf. So thank you for that. And we don't ever want to add fuel to the fire, right? If we are all of God's children, then we need to love one another. We need to respect one another. We need to be there for one another. We need, we need to find a way to help them and maybe even teach them how to let it go. If you know someone who angers easily, who throws a temper tantrum, and I'm not talking about 2 year olds, they have no understanding of why they do it. And eventually we need to help and guide them, right? But if you're a 30-year old and you're having a temper tantrum like a 2 year old, you need help. You need help. That's not a healthy thing for you. It causes anxiety, it causes stress, it causes heartache, it causes damage to who you are. So, if one of the things that you use this as an excuse, a lot of people I know use this as an excuse. They're like, well, I get angry so fast. Don't use that as an excuse. Find a way not to get angry. Count to 10. Here's a good one. Learn to count to 10 in a different language. That's right. I can count to 10 in Chinese. Ya, yi, sam, se, look, chop, bak, gao, sup. And that is in Cantonese, by the way. When we can incorporate a drill or a skill for us to get out of our head and go back into a place, go back into the world and come back with love. That that is going to help us all. So let it go. Don't hold on to it. If your boss didn't give you a raise because you deserved a raise, you worked your tail off and your boss didn't give you a raise and you've been digging and grinding and someone else got the raise or someone else got the promotion that you were supposed to get, let it go. What do I mean by let it go? Hey, guess what? Let that job go. Find a better job where your skills are noticed, where your effort is rewarded. Let that job go, but don't do me a favor. Don't let it go until you find the other one. Find the other job. You want to be smart about when you let things go. We want, yes, wish them well and walk away. I love that. I love that. When we are in a situation that is not productive, if it's either a work situation, a financial situation, a relationship, listen, we do not pick our family. We don't. We're born into them. When we're born, we don't choose who our uncle is going to be or who our cousin's going to be, right? We don't. So the relationships that we create is based on our actions. How do we behave towards them? How do they behave towards us? And if they're not too cool, create a distance. You can still be cordial. You could be nice when you see them on the holidays or whatever, be nice. That doesn't mean you have to, yeah, you might have to sit at dinner with them, maybe Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever dinners that you're going to have with your family, whatever religion you're in. If you do have to sit at dinner with people that you really don't care for, make it as polite as possible and then remove yourself from the situation. Go to a different room, go talk to someone else. I was at a wedding. A person came over and was not nice to me at all. At all. They were not, and there was no reason for it. They just were not, they were nasty. And I just kind of looked at them and I let it go. Why? Why? I didn't even say a word to them negatively. I just said, no, thank you. Right. And they kind of looked at me like, what do you mean, no, thank you? They were being nice to me. Here's the thing. I thought of, if I cause a commotion at this wedding, who am I hurting? Am I hurting the person that was not nice to me? Or am I hurting the bride and groom? Am I hurting the other guests? So I let it go. I let it go. Yes, silence and a smile is super powerful. That's right. If you have a smile, use it. If you don't have one, get one. They don't cost you anything. They don't cost you anything. That's right, Mandy. The wedding party. That's who I was looking out for. Could I have caused a commotion? Had I been a person who didn't let it go? Yeah, I could have had an argument with this person. I could have raised my voice at them. I could have been blah, blah, blah. But no, I stood there, I looked at them, and I said, no, thank you. And they were a little bewildered. But you need to let it go at the right time. Listen, there's always a time and place for everything. Sometimes you can't let it go. Sometimes when somebody is hurting someone else, I don't let it go. I step up and I help. If someone is abusing a child, I step up and help. If someone is abusing another person, I step up and help. I saw somebody on top of their girlfriend. Literally, she was on the floor. He was on top of her. He was not hitting her. So I could have gone over and yanked him off of her, and she was screaming for help. And so what I did is, because I kind of knew them a little bit, and I didn't know him, I knew her. So what did I do? I said, I don't know her that well. If I help her, yank him off, she might get mad at me and start hitting me. And that's what police officers have to deal with all the time. So what I did is I stayed there. I picked up my phone and I called the police. The minute he heard me calling 911, he got off of her. Now, had he picked up his hands to hit her, I would have stepped in for sure. For sure. So when we know that someone's life is in danger, we step in. Her life was not in danger. He was just holding her down. So did I help the situation by calling the police? I did. Because later on I found out it was the best thing I did for her, because she was afraid to call the police. What would have happened if I only ripped him off of her and separated them, or and maybe even hit him or whatever, right? Maybe she would have taken him back. And guess what? Guess what? It could have escalated, could have gotten worse and worse and worse. But because I called the police, now there's a record that this man was physically assaulting her. So now, if the police are ever called, they know he's already been through the system. So it's better for her. I did her a bigger favor than taking him off of her. So we have to take care of a situation no matter how it presents itself. But don't forget, certain situations we need to let it go. If you know of somebody who has anger issues, if you know of somebody who has trouble letting it go, and if this video spoke anything to you or may speak to them, please share it with them. Just send it anonymously. Just say, hey, I got a video for you to watch. And, maybe it'll help. Maybe not. Thank you so much, Mandy. I really appreciate you being here. You are an incredible human being. Thank you for being here. And you come on every so often. You are incredible. I love it when you come on. So, yes, be wise, be cautious, be aware, be kind, be loving, and most importantly, be understanding. And don't forget, let it go. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share this video, this podcast, this live with someone. And I would love to hear your tips. Come on live with me. Join me. Mandy, one day you got to come on here with me, girl. It'll be great. It will have fun. So thank you so much again. And God bless you. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow, you know what we're doing tomorrow. It is Health and Fitness Day. Join me tomorrow. I will see you then. Take care.